What up, Torn? You in here? You're the man, bro. You're always hopping on. Appreciate you, bro. How you doing tonight? What up, John Dong? How you doing, bro? What are y'all doing this Friday?
EA Sport.
Thanks for popping in here, y'all. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me know. Trying to get my screen share going. I'm doing well, brother. Can't complain. Where are you located, John Dong? Yeah, dude, me too, man. I've been fucking waiting for that myself. Who do you got in that fight? Who you picking? Oklahoma, that's dope. Not too far from my neck in the woods. I'm in Arizona. I always got to pass through Oklahoma when I go to Chicago, where I'm originally from. Pretty cool state, actually. Lots of Chiefs fans in Oklahoma. Yeah, dude, I agree. You know what? I picked Fluffy myself, but there's a chance Strickland wins that fight. Yeah, I feel that, dude. Oklahoma has kind of like a Midwest vibe to it, you know. Being from Chicago or like just outside of Chicago, I know how that goes, man. Where do you want to move to if you can move somewhere? But yeah, dude, the Strickland fight is going to be a good one, I think. If Strickland can stuff the takedowns and jab at range, he could win on points. I don't see him finishing Fluffy, but dude, Fluffy is a fucking maniac. Like, I just don't think Fluffy will ever be in a fight where he just lets somebody kind of like pick at him from range, you know? Like, he'd rather fucking get KO'd than deal with that shit. Okay. Texas or Florida, both good states, man. One of my best friends lives in Florida, in Windermere, like right next to Orlando. trying to play some fucking Xbox and stream it, but it's not working, guys. But yeah, I've got my pick video is dropping actually pretty soon here on Sunday. Good question. You know, that one's a tough one because I don't know, it's weird. In that matchup, I don't know particularly if the UFC wants either one of them specifically, and the reason I feel that way is because you got both guys who are I think number 3 and number 4. So, I don't I don't know if the UFC feels one type of way there, you know what I mean? I feel like it either way, but I would assume Fluffy because obviously Strickland's already been to the belt. But the way Strickland's been talking shit about Chimaev, it would also make sense from a promotion perspective if he's able to like knock off Fernandez and then get a shot. But I would say Fluffy if I had to pick Fluffy probably. He would be an intriguing matchup for Chimaev as well. I think. Who do you want? Oh, you want Fluffy to win. You said right. Well, you're picking him, but is that who you want to win? And I ask that because sometimes, like, actually, a lot of times, people I'm picking are not necessarily the ones I want. You know. Yeah, dude, it would, right? Dude, so many people hate Strickland, and I don't really get it. Like, I understand people don't like someone who's like, I guess, it doesn't make any sense. The people that hate him, they're like, he's so boring, he just jabs and teeps. But it's like those are the same people that love a certain style as well. You know what I mean? Like, they're okay with, certain people. Like, I don't want to say it's like all people that are wrestling fans, but like it's just like such a weird thing to hate someone who's really good at striking and striking specifically like with a really good jab, a really good teep kick. I get the argument that Sean's not always like gunning for a finish, but I don't know, man. I think he's a great fighter. I fucking love watching Sean fight. But dude, you hit the nail on the head there. I feel like a lot of times these days it's actually like I root for people because of like how much it would fuck things up, you know what I mean? Like how much it would shake up the fan base and how seeing how they would cope about certain things. All right, we're actually rocking here. Hell yeah, Clint Eastwood. Hey, Clint Eastwood, you've had some funny ass comments on my channel. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for popping in here too. Exactly, bro. Costa was running the entire fucking time. He. The thing is that people tend to forget Strickland's style is just it's a style, like especially with his striking, that a lot of guys have problems with, and that's what I think a lot of people are missing in their analysis of that matchup with Fluffy, because Fluffy has some good striking, but Strickland fucking outstruck Adesanya, so it's clear that he's got some type of style that is not easy to deal with. But yeah, I like Strickland that he has guns too. So something funny about that. I went to Vegas for my brother's bachelor's party back in like 2018, and the gun. It's actually we went to the shooting range called the Gun Store, and Strickland actually fucking he goes there in Vegas. He ended up you probably seen the video, but he broke the display case at that location, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I wasn't there when it happened, but I saw him there like maybe a year or two ago, and he shattered the fucking display case. Yeah, Izzy's an emotional guy, that's for sure. But I feel like people need to give him a little bit more respect for what he's been able to do, you know? And at the very least, even if you hate Izzy, at least Izzy defended his belt several times a year, which we were fucking never getting anymore in the middleweight division. All right, we're trying to run up some fucking games here, boys. Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, I don't think he does himself any favors really when he's saying like to the death and shit, but then he's not really putting himself at risk. But at the same time, it's so easy for us to like be saying that shit when we're not actually in an octagon fucking fighting somebody. You know what I mean? That's another thing that we all like a lot of people forget as well. Dude, the fucking keyboard warriors in this fan base are fucking ridiculous. Sorry, y'all, I gotta plug my fucking shit in. Hell yeah. Hey, thank you guys for popping in here. This is sick. I'm trying to run up some games myself. I haven't played in a while. Yeah, dude, MMA Joey, man. He is that dude's something else these days. I used to watch his shit a lot, but yeah, Max and Oliveira is definitely a banger. I think I'm thinking Max in that fight. What do you guys think? Dude, MMA Joey, like, you know what? He knows a lot of shit about MMA. I feel like I kind of feel like he panders to a certain audience a lot. You know what I mean? Like he definitely panders to certain audiences, and I don't like that shit. Like the shit that I post on my channel is all truly how I feel. Like I'm not trying to be like, oh, I know these people like this, so I'm gonna say this. You know what I mean? Dude, that's the thing. Like I feel like Max's jujitsu and shit. We really haven't gotten to see a ton of that from him, so it's hard to say. Yeah, I agree, dude. Like I still subscribe because I do my pick tracker stuff. So I'll tune into his like pick videos, but that's about it. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Taziki, you're right, man. That's exactly how I feel. I can't deal with the grifting. I can't deal. You know what I can't deal with, and hopefully you guys feel the same way. But if not, it's all good. The Tom Aspinall shit that he says is so fucking ridiculous to me. Because it's like he is just so clearly a person who's never been in a fucking cage match, never got his eye poked. Yeah, exactly. And when you have good points, he'll never respond to it. But dude, you know what? I hate to get political because I'm like I am pure middle of the road, but he kind of takes that clear leftist side of things. You know what I mean? I am not. I think both sides. Like if you're far left or far right, you're kind of brainwashed. But I feel like he just takes that approach with MMA too. It's just I'm gonna say what I feel. If you disagree, I block you type shit, which I think is whack. But I still think though, you got to give the guy respect. Like to build an audience the way he has is not an easy thing to do. You know what I mean? Especially like me being in the creator space, I've seen how hard that can be. So I give him a lot of respect for that. It's just I don't want to build an audience off of like faking how I feel about certain things or doing stuff that's popular. Like he so clearly sides with the Dagestani fan base because they'll just continue to support him if he just says whatever they are into, which I'm not against the Dagestani fighters. It's just I think we should all be objective about how we feel in like come on. Can you guys like agree with me that like Kamzat had a great dominant wrestling performance, but do not like no person in their right mind is going to say that's an exciting main event to watch. And John Dong, the shit you said about Chandler too, it's like it is funny, right? Like some of the shit he says about Chandler. But I also feel like Chandler should get so much respect from us as fans because he could go out there and do like a lay and pray style if he wanted to. But that dude never is in a boring fucking fight. I've never watched a Michael Chandler fight and been bored. What up, No Filter? How's it going, bro? Yeah, man. I think yeah, Torrin's the man, dude. He's always in. He's always popping up. I can't get this shit to work, yo. I'm trying to fucking run up some Xbox here. It's kind of being whack though. So no filter. You have the same position as me about Rose, right? You think Rose beat Natalia Silva? I'm just gonna make this a little bit larger. Say fuck it. Yeah, he does, bro. What's so dope is Torrin's a fucking he's an old school MMA fan too. He was saying he started watching like '09. So he's really been either '09 or yeah, '09 or 2012. Dude, that's the craziest shit too cuz Ian Gary, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw my video about Ian Gary, but I have not had good things to say recently. Thank you, No Filter. I appreciate that cuz I agree. Yeah, totally. And you know what? The thing that sucks about women's MMA too, which is just some shit that happens in every fucking everything with women, right? Like especially if you have men who are fans, like they're just like cling to her because she's clearly a good fighter. But I think like she's building a fan base off of how she looks as opposed to it being just about the skill. You know what I mean? I think she's a fantastic fighter though. But in that fight against Rose, I don't see how she won the first or second round by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, dude, Ian Gary, man, I'm fucking sick of that dude. I have never seen somebody lose a fight and somehow use that as a bragging point. Yet, like you have people like MMA Joey and other, there's just other fans who are using his loss as a bragging point. It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. To make this larger there. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. Plus, Aaron actually has a finishing mentality. She doesn't fucking point fight. You know what? It was a great fight. It's just that Ian lost, and now he's out. Like, the thing that pissed me off about Ian is that he basically prayed and bragged about Shavkat's downfall, which I think is complete bullshit. Oh, yeah, dude. Valentina will absolutely expose her. You know, I was one of the only creators that I can remember uh, who picked Valentina Shevchenko to smoke Wei Li. Like, dude, the amount of fans who were like, Wei Li is going to destroy Valentina. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Because I don't know what it is, guys, but people forget that Wei Li, fantastic fighter, she does not take shots very well. And I say that because I was at UFC 300. I watched Wei Li get dropped 2 to 3 times in that fight, like dropped hard from shots. And that's not the only time. I mean, she got dropped against Rose. So it's just like going up against Valentina, who I know is going to be bigger and is one of the best strikers. I just didn't see how Wei Li was going to, do anything to her. See, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just sometimes I feel like I'm on an island, with some of these thoughts. But hey, no filter. We're connected now, bro. So that's good. Thank you, bro. That's exactly what I'm saying. She got dropped so many times. And honestly, what's crazy is the dialogue about that fight. Everyone I like online and people I talk to were like, "Oh my gosh, like Whaley totally destroyed Zhao Nan." I'm like, "What fucking fight did you watch?" But hey, guys, while we're on the fucking some hot topics here, something that has been really pissing me off is how the UFC decides to score knockdowns. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but they did not score a knockdown for Diego Lopez in the Volk fight that just happened. There's no knockdown recorded, and I want to fucking know, like, how do we, like, what do we determine a knockdown? If that's not a knockdown, like, what is a knockdown? It's absolutely fucking nuts. That's the The Lucas Tracy special right there, right? Shout out to Lucas. My biggest thing is I knew Wei Li would not be able to hurt Valentina with anything because I knew that Valentina would have the range. But then also there was like that there was people saying like how much younger Wei Li is. And I'm like, dude, she's like a year or two younger than Valentina. She doesn't have like a crazy advantage there either. I do think Wei Li will beat up uh Mackenzie Dern, but I gotta say, Mackenzie Dern, she's been putting it together with her hands. So she has potential to hurt Wei Li on the feet. It's just I think that at that weight class, Wei Li will be much more impactful. No filter. You got any news on Steve Mean Machine when he's popping back up? I want to see Steve Garcia fight again. That's a guy that I will never miss a Steve Garcia fight. He's one of those guys that I just think gets the shit end of the stick because he doesn't like to do the yapping and shit, you know? He doesn't like to fucking talk. He likes to get in there and whoop some ass. Trying to think who I'm gonna pull up the next fight card here, see if we can I'll see who you guys are picking for some of these fights. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Diego Lopez should get a knockdown against Volk in that last matchup? I know Volk won the fight, but it's like, do you guys think he knocked Volk down in round 3? And I'm really fucking hoping, guys. I'm really hoping that Ian Gary gets the title shot, and I will be rooting for Islam to whoop his ass because I think that Ian Gary he might be one of the biggest yappers. The dude just talks, 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 but then he goes out there and he gets a fucking decision every time. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with getting a decision. There's something wrong with saying you're going to finish every opponent and not doing it, you know, in my opinion. And I don't get it. I don't get how people it's actually kind of crazy to see he's built quite the fan base off of what I would say are eh. Like I don't know, like his win over Jeff Neal was really bad. The win over Michael Venom Page was just abhorrent. Like it just was not a good fight in my opinion. But I think where I get these negative feelings though, it comes from me watching the fight and then Ian trying to sell to the fan base something that didn't happen. Like he said he outstruck Michael Venom Page. It did not fucking happen. I think that's what drives me fucking crazy about it. Yeah, I just finished up my picks for this next fight card, y'all. So hopefully you guys check that out. Let me know what you think. Should be dropping this Sunday. Got it scheduled and ready to go. The first fight on that card for UFC Houston is Juliana Miller versus Carly Judice. You guys got to let me know who you're picking in that one. It actually could be a fun fight because I think Juliana Miller actually will fucking throw down. She's not the greatest, but she'll at least fight. And then what do we got next? Jordan Levitt versus Yadier Del Valle. That should be a fun one too. That one's going to be a pretty much grappler's delight, I would say. Gonna have both of those guys kind of going back and forth, looking for scrambles, trying to get the submissions. Let me see these stats. Man, I wish there wasn't such a delay. But yeah, if you guys are ever in here popping up a question or something, I will always read them and get back to them, but it takes a second. I wish I could get my fucking gaming to work. I was gonna screen share my UFC 5 gameplay, but it's just not working right now. Looks like I got one of y'all in here still. Let me know who's in the chat. Pop up a chat for me. If you guys are still there, pop a chat in. I've got the dude, I've got way too much shit going on right now. I've got like 8 screens pulled up and I'm watching got the one championship fights on in the background. There's some I think a Muay Thai fight going on tonight for that. You guys watch one championship at all? I will check it out whenever there's a card and I'm like available to watch it, you know. But they do a lot of Friday cards. My girl's out right now, so I'm this is the night where I can watch it. Usually I can't. You guys know how that goes. Looks like we got somebody back in the chat here. Say what's up in the chat. Let me know if you guys got any hot takes. Would love to react to that. You know, I've been going on X a shit ton, and it's not good because X, I think, is fucking terrible for people. It's one of the worst places I've ever gone to for content. But there's a lot of content there, especially rage bait. Yeah, dude, this shit it's crazy to me. What up, y'all? Whoever's here. Hope you guys are having a fun Friday. Hey, some recent shit that's going on. We got Manel Kopp and what's his name? Joshua Van just jawing at each other. Who do you guys think who do you think wins in that fight? Should that fight go down between Manel Kopp and Josh Van? I think it's a fun fight, but I don't know, man. I feel like Manel Kopp has like sneaky power. Oh shit. My dude. John Dong. You're the fucking man, bro. Thank you for letting me know that. I've got to find my chat window now. My bad, y'all. Damn, you guys have been replying to all my shit. That fucking sucks. I was sitting here like, what the fuck, yo? That's so weird. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you guys are still here. John Dong, you're the man. Thanks for letting me know. You know what? It's not frozen, bro. I think I just need to extend this. I'm being a fucking idiot. Damn, dude. You guys have been responding to everything. Thank you, guys. Yep, I think I definitely agree. Mackenzie will likely drop Whaley. Her hands have been strong as fuck. Dude, Steve Garcia versus Gene Silva would be an absolute fucking like that would be a crazy fight. That would be a fucking crazy fight. If we had Gene Silva versus Steve Garcia, and I don't know who wins, to be honest. That's a tough one. But that's, you know what? Those are the best fights. I always say it. The fights where, like, you cannot accurately feel comfortable in a prediction are the best ones. And thank you guys for sticking around while I was sitting there like, damn, no one's responding to anything. Like, what the fuck happened? But now I've got the actual chat pulled up to my left side, so I'll make sure that I'm not missing anything here. Hey, speaking of which, MMA Joey just went live. But yeah, what do you guys think of and dude, where the fuck is Yair? He was like campaigning for that. And yeah, dude, I agree on that knockdown situation. It is so weird how the UFC chooses to score knockdowns. I would love for them to actually drop like rules that we can follow for scoring a fucking knockdown. Ooh, that's a pretty hot take, John Dong. That's a pretty hot take. You know, it's not the craziest take though, because MVP has a style that he's essentially just the perfect like karate point style fighter, like very good in and out, good at attacking and moving out of range. He's almost got like a if it's like a Floyd Mayweather style in MMA. You know what I mean? Like obviously not as boxing heavy, but I'm saying like that style of just in and out and landing your shots and getting out and not getting hit. It's just that Alex Pereira is such a fucking master at cutting off the cage. And then once he gets guys into that dangerous range, he's just fucking perfect. Dude, that is what Alex does so good, man. It's the Poetan leg kicks that break them down. And then after that, it's the lead hook. Like he just swings that lead hook, dude, and it just fucking it's we're really lucky, I think, to watch and witness Alex. Bro, you're right. Bruno Silva fight, that's so when I watched the Bruno Silva fight, which by the way, I think Alex Pereira pretty much ended Bruno Silva's career because somehow Bruno Silva didn't get KO'd in that fight, but like the amount of damage he absorbed, now his chin is like toast. But you're absolutely right. Watching that fight, I was like, holy shit, is Bruno Silva gonna fluke a fucking KO here? But dude, Alex is just such a fun guy to watch, you know? Like what tell me a fucking Pereira fight. I will say the first Ankh fight was not a good one. But I think Alex, you could tell there was something up with him in that matchup. Like I really did believe he was sick or something because he was not fighting normal. If Alex goes up to heavyweight, which I think is what's going to happen, um, if okay, if Alex fights Gone, like there's like the rumors that are out there, who do you pick in that? I was thinking like Alex could get it done, but dude, Gone is so fucking. He is really good, dude. Like as shitty as Gon is with his, and I don't even think Gon does shit necessarily on purpose all the time. It's so weird, dude, because Cyril like seems like a good dude, but it's just like the amount of fouls that dude has. Yeah, he had an injured foot. He had norovirus. He had a bunch of shit going on. But the one thing I noticed about Alex in that fight is he was so tentative. You know, he just was not himself. But yeah, the Pereira versus Gon fight could be such a good one, but it's just Gon is so fucking good. I will say though, Gon does not handle leg kicks very well. Something that no one wants to talk about from the Aspinall fight. Aspinall kicked Gon the one time and fucking spun him around. He does not like those leg kicks, and that is not a good sign against Pereira. I think the one thing that Pereira will bring to that matchup is he is consistently fighting guys who are faster. So Pereira probably has a good chance of maybe having the better reflexes there. But Gon's not slow by any means either, which is why the Gon and Aspinall matchup is fun. It's just Gon needs to not fucking gouge his eyes out. Another hot take of mine, which you guys have probably seen if you're steadily watching the content. I think that, and I've actually been getting debates about this on X and shit too, but I feel like people are really misreading the Ilia versus Arman fight. I don't necessarily. It's one of those matchups yet again where I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen if they fight, but I tend to lean Ilia winning by way of strikes. See, you know what? I think people say that it's like, oh, you're picking him to be different, but the real reason is because I think it's all based on Gon's last matchup, and this is something I'm learning, bro. As like an MMA fan and shit, it's like a lot of us get recency bias because Gon looked like absolute shit against Volkov. I do not think Gon won that fight against Volkov, but if you take fighters for their word, like I think Gon broke his foot or something like pretty early in that fight and was unable to kind of fight the way that he normally does. But I just don't think Gon finishes Tom Aspinall, to be honest with you. But the problem is like we haven't seen Tom go to 5 rounds. So like maybe there's a chance like if Gon has that gas tank that he brings as the fight gets deeper, maybe there is a chance that he finishes him. You know what I mean? But it's just it's dude, it's a fun fight. I just really wish it didn't end the way it did. You know? Um, I don't know. I am not somebody who thinks Tom's fucking faking because like it's one thing if we didn't get to see it, but like bro, we watched Cyril fucking finger bang his eye socket. Like those fingers went deep. So like I'm not gonna sit here and talk shit about that. You know what I mean? And what I don't like either is the take that I've heard MMA Joey say is like, oh, he could have stayed in it if it was a punch, which makes him think that Tom's faking. But dude, I don't know if this works for you guys, but when I ball my fist, it's not as long as my fucking fingers. So the odds of my fucking knuckle breaking someone's inner orbital wall, which is in the back of your eye, are very slim compared to my fucking finger. I think Gon would have finished Aspinall because Aspinall's a big and fast dude, so he's only gonna get more tired. And that bloody nose would have made it difficult to breathe. Yeah, that's a fair point. But I do think uh the one thing that I think is a little shitty about that matchup is if you look at the stats, like Tom landed some of the bigger shots actually. Not bigger shots in terms of like I'm very clear and I know that Gon landed more damage, but Tom landed more strikes to the head than Gon did, which I think is a bit like misconstrued by the fan base. People like forget that he landed more headshots, but I also think that Tom, the one thing I feel like is not talked about enough is the one takedown that Tom shot on Gon. Gon poked him in the eye there, which happened about 3 minutes into the fight. And then, or 2 minutes in. And then in the 4 minute mark is when the big eye poke happened. Yes, you are absolutely right, John Dong. 1000%. I picked Aspinall, and I can't remember. I don't think I picked him to finish Gon in the first round. I didn't see him finishing Gon that early because no one has, other than John. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just high on Ilia, but I just see him getting the KO over Arman after a hard couple rounds. Charles is older, but quite literally, who does that to Charles? Yeah. See, we have the exact same feeling, Tadziki. We are on the same page, brother. I agree with you. Armin striking is not that good. Like people have been just inflating his striking ability, in my opinion. And my hardest situation here is it's like I know it's I had someone commenting on my Ilia video today saying like I'm just doing a bunch of MMA math, but it doesn't make sense to me that Armin fights Charles and he gets a split decision, like barely gets that win. Ilia fights Charles and Ilia flatlines him, which no one else has done in the UFC. And what's funny too is people are now trying to rewrite the grappling exchanges. They're trying to say that like Ilia didn't dominate Charles in the grappling. What I remember is Ilia doing whatever the fuck he wanted to Charles and then getting up when he didn't want to grapple anymore. So I don't, dude. The fan base is weird, guys. I really just I try to I'm pretty high on Ilia myself, and I feel like I haven't seen Ilia in any of these bad positions where it's just a lot harder for me to see Armin dominating him versus seeing Ilia KOing Armin. Because at this point, what Ilia has been able to achieve by knocking out the guys he's knocked out, especially the Max Holloway one, there's no doubt in my mind he has like the touch of death in his hands. Like he could literally flatline KO I think any lightweight on the planet. So like that's the shit I just haven't seen from Armin. Like I have not seen his ability the way it's being sold, if that makes sense. I feel like he got the split decision over Charles. He beat fucking Dan Hooker, and people are like, "This dude's the next coming of Jesus Christ. He'll smoke everybody." It's like, how? It's just a weird fucking. It's clear that like people are clinging to him, and I don't have a problem with Armin as a person. Like, I think he's pretty fucking funny, actually. I do not want Ilya to go up to welterweight though, not yet anyway. I don't think he beats Islam at welterweight. If I'm being honest, guys, I think Islam will be too big. He's already probably too big, but I don't know. I don't think Ilya going to welterweight fares well for him off the fact that he's giving Islam a very steep advantage. But what would you guys rather see? Would you rather see Ilya fight Islam or Arman at this point? Like, if you could pick, like, if I could fucking be a genie right here and be like, hey, whatever fight you want, I can give to you. Are you asking for Ilia versus Arman at lightweight, or are you asking for Ilia versus Islam at welterweight? I'm curious. I want to know. Hey, shout out to all you guys for popping in here. This is dope. I did not anticipate. I kind of go into these streams thinking no one's going to join, to be honest. Because even though I've got, 4K subs, it's not always easy to get folks to pop in. So I appreciate y'all. Ilia versus Arman. Yeah, I would say that I want that one too, man. I think the Ilia versus Arman matchup it's what I want more. And the reason why is I think that welterweight is one of the best. I think welterweight's the best division right now. In terms of the matchups you can make, because really lightweight's not that deep. And I'm just going to continue to toot the horn that lightweight is not the division people have been fucking saying it is. People have been saying lightweight's the premier division. It really is not. Ilia versus Islam at 155. Yeah, that is a dream fight. See, that was a dream fight because that is the one place where I think Ilia versus Islam at 155 is the one place where that striking danger from Ilia is matched also by the grappling danger of Islam. And like it really, whoever wins that fight is whoever's actually able to implement the game plan. Now, I think at 170, the Ilia striking power may be a little bit less. I don't know though. Dude, Ilia could have he could have the touch of death everywhere. I've heard Gilbert Burns, you guys probably seen this. Gilbert Burns said that Ilia knocked out I think 3 or 4 training partners when he was training for one of his fights. I think it was either Josh Emmett or something else. And he like Gilbert Burns like repeated himself. He was like Ilia knocked like 3 guys out with the big gloves on. Like knocked them out cold. So like he might have touch of death just everywhere. But Islam's got a really good chin, dude. He really does. Like he's eating a lot of big shots. Yeah, it's tough to get people in your live streams. Just stick to with a consistent time to go live. Remind people to click the bell icon. Hey man, you're right, bro. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I need to do that more. I've been pretty. I've been kind of just popping on live whenever I feel like it, type of thing. But I need to let you guys know ahead of time. It is kind of fun though, because it's like sometimes you get people who have kind of joined the other ones, like Torin. He's always joining, but then like this one, I got a couple of you guys popping in here, and I'm gonna be doing a companion again for the Moreno card. I can't do one next weekend, but I'll be doing it for the Moreno one. Oh yeah, good point. Like doing I gotta find a way to do that. I'll have to ask my buddy ChatGPT on that one. But yeah, you're right. You can schedule them. Maybe that's what it does. Because what I've been doing is like scheduling the stream because that allows me to change the thumbnail and shit. So I might just have to do that, and then maybe that'll like pop it up. But yeah, dude, Ilia versus Arman right now is one I want because I know I feel a certain way about it. I don't feel that confident where I'm like Ilia just smokes Arman, but I see him KOing Arman more than I see Arman doing anything to Ilia. Like I do not even have a picture in my mind of Arman winning by KO on the feet. And dude, just watching Ilia, dude, Ilia's got some of the fucking slickest boxing. It's like it's crazy to see. I mean, dude, the way he did Max Holloway, and I don't know, what do you guys think? I personally think the fucking Max Holloway slander, but also like the people that are coping and saying Max was weight drained, I think that's just an absolute fucking cope. Because how is Max weight drained, but then at the same time, the only person who was able to beat Max at featherweight in the last decade is Volkanovski. He beat every other guy and was not weight drained. But suddenly now against Ilia, he's weight drained. And the thing is, too, people forget Max called for the featherweight title fight after winning the BMF belt. He called to fight Ilia at featherweight. So if he really was that much of a disadvantage, why would he do it? But dude, Ilya's that dude, man. I was rooting for Max too because I go American when I have to, you know. And when he knocked out Max, I'm like, yeah, you can't deny this guy anymore. Like, you hate him or not, like at the end of the day, the dude fucking goes in there and he finishes fights. Which, what more can you ask for? Are you guys excited to see if Kamzat gets a defense in here soon? I want to see him versus Imavov. I do think that could be a good fight. And at this point, I kind of want to see Kamzat. I want to see him dethroned, man. I want to see Imavov shock the world. Mainly because I'm not a fan of fucking Kamzat going out there campaigning for a fight in another division with zero fucking title defenses. That shit is so crazy to me. What's even crazier though is like people campaigning for it as well. Yeah, Taziki, you're right, bro. You are right. He was doing well. I was actually like watching it. I was like, dude, he's okay. I think watching it, I was coping quite a bit though. I was like, Max is fucking winning this fight. And when I rewatched it, knowing like how it ends now, like I can rewatch with hindsight, and you kind of start to see that Ilia was setting up a lot of those traps that ended up closing the show. But Max was doing good. It's just like Ilia has that same thing that Pereira has, where it's like you can do good, and it's just until they close the distance and find that shot, and they're very good at cutting off the cage. Oh, of course. Well, that's the thing, dude. People just forget. Well, that's the thing. It's like everybody will discredit Max now because he got KO'd, and at the same time they discredit Ilia. It's a weird thing that fans do, especially in this sport. It's like they won't give Max the credit, but then they're also discrediting Ilia at the same time. But yeah, dude, it's I do just think Ilia is that guy. Like, and the thing is, people are like, oh, the craziest thing is people coping about Ilia's KOs, saying, oh, he got a He got to hurt Volk, which, yeah, I do agree to that to a certain extent. But at the same time, it's like, I think that Ilia, if we're taking the example of Charles Oliveira into account, I think Ilia would have starched Volk against the cage, even if Volk hadn't been KO'd before that. Like, I really do. Do I think that Volk getting head kicked by Islam and KO'd, 4 months prior helped? Absolutely not. But I also think that Ilia has fucking nukes. And it's just his placement. He's so good at fucking finding those shots. And I think the Charles example is one that really hammers that point home for us. Because Charles wasn't fucking. Charles had a perfect setup. He had plenty of time to prepare for Ilya. He didn't take a ton of damage against Chandler when they fought, like, what was that? That was the Madison Square Garden card in 2024. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Arman versus Ilya will be a massive fight should they make it. I really think, guys, I think I'm cooking with the idea that I posted on my channel of have Ilya fight Arman, or no, have Ilya fight Justin on the White House card, because that's basically, like, we know that's probably what's going to happen. Have that go down. Have Arman fight BSD on the undercard of that, or have them, headline like a different card or co-headline. Oh my gosh, I think Ilya would have starched him. To be honest with you, John Dong, I think Ilya KOs that Islam, because if you remember the end of that fight, Islam looked fucking horrific, man. Like, Volk was landing big shots on him on the ground. But yeah, my whole take though is like have Arman fight BSD, because I think the UFC needs to put Arman against a guy who has not enough of a grappling ability to give him problems, so we can kind of see, okay, like, how does Arman deal with that challenge, right? Because at this point, Arman, like, the way people are like saying Arman should be able to sit out and just let the result of Gaethje and Ilya sort itself out and then get the title shot. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he should be fighting somebody else in the meantime. But it's hard to say because he has, he's done what he's had to do, but at the same time, he's made a lot of mistakes. So it's like, I'm not. I would like to see him fight a BSD, and then if Arman beats BSD, my take was you have Ilya versus Arman, have the two of them coach Ultimate Fighter. It's the only way they can bring Ultimate Fighter any type of viewership and actually make it worth something. I feel like it has been dry for a long time, you know? Like, Ultimate Fighter has kind of been ass. But if you put fucking Ilya and Arman on there, I think it would be massive for the UFC. It would be massive for both guys. Especially with Arman doing his recent fucking campaign, of just going on everybody's fucking podcast and shit. You guys love to let me know what you think about that. I feel like I was cooking on that one. It's not the craziest idea, but yeah, dude, me either. See that, Taziki, that's the thing, bro. We have the same feeling about Ilya. it really, when that happened, I'm like, this guy he's something fucking special, man. Like that moment's gonna live in history. And I think that's another thing too. It's like when I think of these other fighters who are supposedly like these fighters that will destroy Ilya, I think of them and I'm like, how many of those big moments does Arman have where he's doing that sort of thing? Like I feel like Ilya went out there and Charles had zero success in that fight. It was such a one-sided round, and then Ilya starched him. It was brutal, dude. It was hard to see Charles like that, man. And that's the same Charles. I mean, it's not the same Charles, right? Who fought Gaethje and Poirier, but it's only a couple years different. And the Charles that Ilya KO'd, he ends up going out there and smoking. What's his fuck? Gamrot. Yeah, they could do Gaethje, but you know what I think? I feel like, I really do feel like Ilya versus Arman would be huge because it would be such a good lead up, I think they have to change the way they shoot and do that show. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but like I've gone back and watched old seasons, and these new seasons just don't have the same like umph to them. If that makes any sense, they're just not as prevalent. They're not as strong. It's just I feel like they got to do something different with it. Maybe they're just like over editing shit now. And I don't know, man. Like sometimes the fucking like as shitty as this sounds, sometimes like the individual stories and stuff is not as good. Like it's just kind of boring. Not necessarily for me, but I'm kind of speaking for like what I've seen online, like people kind of saying about the show. I think they gotta, but it's also like I think they have to find more competitive talent where you'll see more finishes and stuff like that. Because I feel like a lot of times in the Ultimate Fighter house, there's not enough drama anymore. Yeah, you're right, Taziki. You know what I was thinking though? Um, I watch like the Love Island shit with my girlfriend. It's not my favorite show, but what is really interesting about Love Island, they shoot the way they film that show. If you're not familiar with it, every week there's new. They're basically filming every day, and then every like Monday and Wednesday there's a new episode because the show is actually like being filmed while us viewers are watching it. We'll see the last few days edited into an episode for Monday and then Wednesday. I think if the Ultimate Fighter did something like that, where you're kind of watching it as they're there, and it's not like this weird thing where it's like, oh, that they filmed this 6 weeks prior to us seeing it. Like I think if we're connected in a way where like we're watching it as it happens, it would make things a lot fucking more intense. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right, dude. Reality TV has kind of fucking died. Dude, TV itself has fucking died, if we're being honest. Like, no one's really fucking doing shit with that anymore. But I feel like Contender Series also kind of, if you think about it, dude, Contender Series kind of, in a way, shits all over Tough. Because Contender Series is like a live Tuesday show, live fights. You don't have to watch any of the filler shit, you know? and you just get to watch fights. Like I would love to see the UFC do like a year, like just keep Contender Series going all year. But hey, another thing that's going down. What do you guys think about like these recent cuts that are happening from the UFC? Like how they're just dropping people. That's another hot topic happening right now. I think that I literally had a feeling after Almeida's fight, I'm like they might cut his ass. It's just kind of sad that his manager's like he's dropping back down to light heavyweight, and the UFC's like, is he? I don't think so. But at the same time, dude, I feel like I understand that it's a horrible precedent that gets set for the sport if they're cutting people who are winning fights. But I also think it's not that fucking hard. And I'm saying this as a non-fighter. It's just not that hard for me to like understand or think like why can't you guys just put on more exciting fights? Like why can't you understand, hey, look, my company, the organization I fight for, they want to see exciting fights, so I have to do something about that. I don't think it's that hard for a fighter to do. It's like I get you have to take more risks, but like you see guys like Tai Tuivasa, going on whatever, six fight losing streak, still have a spot on the roster, and it's because Tai Tuivasa, he goes out there to have a good fight. He doesn't really go out there to win. And I think that's like it's such a weird thing though, because at the same time, it's like if you don't win fights, how do you get to a championship belt? You know? Yeah, yeah. I got to say, Javid Bashrat, that shocked me because he had a fun fight. He had a fun fight in his last outing too. And even dude, even Morono, I get it. Morono's like he's done, but not really. Like I don't think Morono is going out there and beating anyone. Okay, but at the same time, they cut Morono, and I don't know if you guys know this, but and maybe I don't even fully know it, but I saw Morono had asked, maybe this was after his last fight that he just had, saying like I want to have my one, like I have one more fight on my contract, I want to just finish my contract out, get one more fight, and I think the UFC cut him, and I think that's bullshit because it's like yeah, he's probably not gonna win, but he stood in there with Daniil Danchenko. And if you look at Alex Morono's fucking resume, he has gone up against some killers, like prospects that are killers. And I mean, he fought Daniil Danchenko tooth and nail. Like he stayed in that fight the entire time. I think he definitely lost, but it's like, why not give that guy? I mean, you gave Sam fucking Alvey another fight. So, and dude, Martin Budai, that was shocking. That one shocked me. Jarzinho Rosenstreich shocked me. And like Martin Budai, like he really made Marcus Buchecha look like shit. Which Marcus Buchecha, man, what the fuck, dude? That guy, shit, dude. He comes into the UFC, he loses to Budai, and then he has a fucking draw with Kennedy and Nzechukwu, which was like, oh my god, fucking nuts, man. But dude, Jailton Almeida was like seriously one of the most fucking delusional dudes I've seen. I mean, the way that he was standing there after fucking after the performances that dude's put on, and he's against the cage, and he's fucking yelling at the ref to have him break up Kuniev. And it's like, dude, how are you the guy saying this shit? Yes, sir. Clint Eastwood, we're staying live. We're going live, motherfucker. We're staying on as long as we can. I doubt it, bro. I doubt it. To be honest, I was saying this earlier. I don't know if I want to see them fight at welterweight because I feel like Islam is going to be at too much of an advantage there. He's going to have too much size. And bro, Islam, bro, that fight against Jack Del Maddalena was terrible. It was a fucking boring ass fight. Like Islam and Khamzat, like what the fuck are they doing with that shit? Like these guys are supposed to be like some of the most skilled fighters. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Going out there and fucking laying on the guy. I mean, dude, if you look at the significant strikes, it's fucking appalling. It is fucking appalling to see the significant strikes in those fights. I want to see if Islam's going to do it. Like, I would rather see them fight at lightweight, but I also don't think. I don't know why Islam would even want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't need to do that. So I think the next best thing for us at this point is Ilia versus Arman. Because, I mean, Arman, if you think about it, he's kind of picked up all of the fans. Someone actually commented that on my video. That, like, Arman's kind of, like, bent the knee or whatever. And he's kind of built the audience of, or picked up the audience of Islam's. And they, like, all the Islam fans want to see Topuria lose to Arman. So that's where this glazing is kind of coming from. But yeah, dude. Oh my God. Fucking here, you want to know the significant strikes from Islam versus Del Maddalena? It was 30 significant strikes from Islam in 5 rounds. That's less than fucking Khamzat. So Khamzat's fight against fucking DDP was only 37, I think. So somehow Islam did worse. And dude, what's crazy is the amount of hype that went into those fights. I remember on my channel too, on my picks videos, I'm like, guys, this is a generational fucking fight. And it was dog shit. Yeah. Khamzat had 37 significant strikes. Islam had 30. That is fucking horrendous, man. In a 5-round fight? That's just, I don't know, man. And that, you know what? That's where I was headed with that, though. I feel like Islam would do the same thing that he did against JDM. I don't think he'd be able to do it the same way, but I think if he's able to get that grappling pressure on Ilia, he's going to do that. And it's going to be a horrible fight. But I also don't think he could because I know Ilia, like, if you've done some research on him and shit, he is a lifelong grappler. So he's going to have, he's not going to be like a JDM in there with the grappling. I'm just sad because JDM was one of my favorites, dude. And to watch him go out like that was bad. It was real bad. But yeah, dude, Max versus Charles is going to be a fucking banger. I need to look at that card because I'm not even like clear who's on that. The Moreno Kavanaugh card is coming up too. Who you guys got in that? You guys think Loney Kavanaugh can fucking win? I don't, but I mean maybe. But Loney Kavanaugh getting KO'd by Charles Johnson, maybe, but sometimes we've seen fighters like Joshua Van get KO'd by the energy, and then they have a generational run thereafter. So maybe, holy fuck, Jose Medina is still in the UFC. That's crazy, bro. Oh, we got a women's bantamweight bout between Aylin Perez and Macy Chisone. Bro, Macy Chisone literally looks like she's related to fucking Dustin Poirier. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you look at Macy Chisone, and they're both from fucking Louisiana, they look exactly alike, in my opinion. She's like a taller version of Poirier. Oh, Wes Schultz is fighting versus Damian Pinas. That's going to be a good fight. Both those guys came off Contender Series. That'll be a good one. Francis Marshall fights Eric Silva. Eric Silva, where's this fucking guy from? Oh, he got KO'd by Naimov? Yikes. Not good for him. Sofia Montenegro. Where the fuck is she? I've seen her before. Like, dude, I sometimes I can't remember all these fighters. Ernesta Kirikate. Who the fuck did she beat? I was just doing picks for a video today, and she's got a win over. Oh, Cagliari. Okay. Douglas Silva de Andrade. No way. Is that Javier? Oh, Javier Reyes. This dude's a fucking beast. I'm pretty sure. For anyone new joining or popping in here, I'm taking a look at the next card for Mexico City. Christian Quinones versus Chris Moutinho. Hey, at least they're giving Moutinho another shot after getting fucking face planted. Yeah, I don't know how Jose Medina is still in the UFC. I'm pretty sure he's lost by KO a couple times now. Santiago Luna versus Angel Pacheco. I don't remember these dudes. Kevin Borjas versus Imanol Rodriguez. Imanol, I think, he was on Tough. Then we got Edgar Chairez versus Felipe Bunez. Daniel Zellhuber versus fucking King Green. Who you guys got in that one? Because King Green, Bobby, he might have the potential to, like, I don't know. Zellhuber has not really, like, he's just had like weird losses, man. And then we got Cheeto Vera versus David Martinez. That is not a good matchup for Cheeto, I don't think. That's a pretty decent card, though. I'll take it. Guys, I'm not someone, I know people bitch about the Apex. I fucking love the Apex. I'm not even gonna lie. I love the Apex because, especially like COVID Apex was crazy times, y'all. And I don't know about you guys, but I mean, the fans definitely bring an energy, but I love hearing the shots land. Like, dude, if you guys go back and watch some like COVID fight night cards, they're so fun to watch, bro. Just to hear like people get knocked the fuck out. I mean, specifically, if you watch Derek Lewis KO fucking Curtis Blades, bro, it is one of the most nasty sounding like KOs, and then you literally can hear Curtis Blades moaning Like he's like out cold. Like, it's the dude. It's like brutal as fuck. But that's the shit I like to listen to because it's just it brings a whole other level of like brutality to the sport. You know, man, it's kind of sad to see Charles, dude. He's looking older, dude. He's getting up there, man. Holloway's fucking 35 this year. It's fucking crazy, dude. Oh yeah, dude. We've got a. This is. I think UFC 236 has got some really fun fights, guys. This is looking like a good card. Rodolfo Bellato is back. You know, people want to talk about a fucking actor. Rodolfo Bellato wins that one. Dante Johnson's fighting Dusko Tudorovic. That'll be a good fight. I think Dante Johnson just brutalizes him though. You got Cody Durden versus I don't even know who the fuck that is, but he's from Mongolia. Bro looks like fucking Genghis Khan. This guy's probably fucking good, huh? Nickname Art of Knockout. Wow. All right, y'all. I'm going to hit the hay, man. This is fun, though. Thank you guys for popping in.